I got this really nice stainless steel cart made by Lakeside at Cast Connection. Problem is this this wheel was a little wobbly, and some of the other wheels needed a little bit of love. So it turns out this piece here is removable from the frame. Just take out all those screws, and I should be able to lift it out. It looks like these are just little kind of ears that clamp down, but I'm gonna tack those down a little bit better and see if that makes it more stable. It turns out I am right, but there's not quite enough nub left there to pull through. So see how these sit nice and high? I think what I'm going to have to try is welding those back in, but my welder is not quite ready for prime time because I don't have power in the shop yet. The electrician's made progress. We got mains coming in. Pretty giant size wires, but yeah, should power the shop well. He's getting the lights and the whips on the lights ready so they can go out over the doors. So all should be good. So we have our 3-aught power line running up into the attic. So that's prepped. I'm guessing the power panel other piece component goes in here somewhere. But that's going to be the one piece that hangs us up. That is some serious wire. Aluminum apparently is the way to go. I guess it's cheaper. And the trench. So inspectors came and signed off on the trench and the bury depth and all that stuff. So we should be able to close all this up. I'll get the tractor out and just smoosh all that back over. Try not to get my extension cord in and everything. Alright, so I got this tracked in. I'm going to have the electrician, I'll say, you guys got to do this little end bit because it requires like a hand shovel so I don't damage the building. But I got most of the middle of it tracked in and filled back in. And they just got to pile that back in to the ends and we should be good. So it would seem that nobody makes this wheel in this size that's readily available, and I'm not spending a fortune to get the exact wheel. So the bolt pattern here is a little wider than this one, but it is smaller. See if I can get my other choice up here. Than this one here, and this wheel is just ginormous by comparison. So these came off of those hospitality carts I got from work, Cast Connection. So I've got to redo the bolts. These have those furniture threads on 2 of the bolts, and then 2 of the bolts are just what do they call these, stove bolts? So I'm just going to have to re-drill out 3 holes, tap or smack this one back in, and so forth. Kind of got it started here. That's the one threaded hole. It is like that. So I'll just have to see if I can get a good shot of this. So that one is a little bit farther out, so I'll just have to drill a new hole for that one and smack that piece in. Then those lower holes are where the other ones went. Uh-oh. Just noticed a problem. I might have to rethink this and go low and redo both. I don't know. This, yeah, shoot. The frame here might be in that way. So I may have to put it in this one and have it go down that way. We'll get it worked out though. I think on further inspection, I'm okay with going through that. What'll end up happening is I'll just have a hole in here, but you won't see it because it'll be all behind all that stuff, and it'll be nice and strong. If I went the other way, the problem is the other bolt would be so close to this other one it would bust out. So we're going to roll with it. All right, so I'm just going to take a level and make sure that oh, wait a minute. I forgot, my floor is not level, so this won't work. We'll have to just eyeball it. So these white dots will be my new pattern, one there, one there. Yeah, that one's dangerously close. Let's see, how big are those bits? It's here. see how this looks. Go there. It'll be off a little bit. It'll have enough meat. We'll see. If one breaks out, that's all right. Okay, so I got one in, looking good. It just comes through those bars. I forgot to take into account that this is a little thicker, so I just had to persuade it a little bit with my welding or forging hammer. Things come in handy so far. But anyway, the other parts look like they're good, so we'll just repeat 3 more times and get the other ones. In case you're wondering why we're putting these nice round wheels on, because the wheels that were on there worn down a little bit, I think, and they're not really quite round anymore. So yeah, we're gonna make an upgrade. Well, that's 2 down, and I took my paint scraper, my 3-way or 7-way or whatever they call them, and scraped a lot of the old glued on foam out, and it's all down there in the bottom. So now I'm going to try and pick this up and dump that in the trash without making a huge toxic mess. Yeah, that's what's left. It's this, let me get a scraper so you can kind of see what happens when you touch this stuff. It just kind of falls apart and it's sticky. So yeah, it's all got to get cleaned out. I'll work on that. All right, got all 4 wheels on there. They look mostly good, as far as you know. And we'll get it up on its wheels, roll it around, and we should be good. Do a little bit of a cleanup with my handy dandy famous sweeper. You just run over stuff, and yeah, it's gone. Well, I must say, I was out here goofing around trying to find some dead stuff. Things I could use the stump grinder for in the bucket before I switch out to like the rotary cutter and the grapple. But right over here was a tree stump, and I thought, man, that thing's heavy. I'm not going to be able to move it, but it's over here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can get this all in the frame. I've got some chain in the bucket. I'm going to see if I can wrap a chain around it, get it lifted up in the bucket. I was able to move it fairly easily with the tractor, so we'll see if we can get this over onto the fire burn pile. Well, I did manage to get it picked up. A little bit of chain help. Let's see if we can get it all the way over to the burn pile. Well, there it is. Got it over onto the fire burn pile. So hopefully this weekend we'll be able to burn all that. I'm kind of reluctant to add any more to it, but we'll see. Well, the electricians got a little bit more work done. They got some of the wire pulled. Some of the boxes look like that. Others kind of still look like that. But up there's one. A lot of the electrical boxes for the lights. He was trying to get everything overhead done. So I think that's one for my smoke detector. And down the middle we've got boxes. Yeah, that was... Actually, that should be, yeah, that's electrical for my set lighting, stage lighting, cameras, Wi-Fi, and that'll be smoke. Anyway, lots of work done. Well, I got my sandwich boards set up. Got them cheap, of course, that work, cast connection. But I put some whiteboard sticker on it instead of having to print stuff. So now I can just write whatever I want. And yeah, there you go. All right, so next project is my desk. I've got a bit of a mess. There's stuff everywhere. It needs to get organized. So in the bottom, down in this area here, I want to put a shelf. That's what that 4x6, 2x6 is sitting over there. I'm going to put a couple rows of that so there's some slats so cables can go down through it if need be. So forth, put a power strip on it, take a lot of my cables and things that are just a complete nightmare, and get it down to a point where I just have one power cord that I plug and unplug into the wall, and if I want to, an optional Ethernet port so that I can have hardwired data, but the thing should run off of Wi-Fi too. So that's going to be the project for this afternoon, getting a power strip installed and so forth. It'll be fun. Kind of hanging out. Not really caring what's going on. Gonna go over that and start around the easy way. Okay. I'll let you. I don't know if going into the garage is such a good idea. Well, see you later. Or are you gonna go into the garage? Oh, look to the left. There's green stuff. Yeah, there you go. Green stuff. Alright, so I got the boards down there mounted. Got the power strip up and set. So now we can start plugging in things and wiring it all up. Alright, well there it is, mostly done. I decided to move the speakers up onto the desk. We have the subwoofer, the PC. Tucked back in here is the Mac. We also have our wireless access point, our Google Hub, stereo mixer, keyboards, and down there is a Unify switch so that we can keep the PC virtually hardwired because it's still on Wi-Fi. We'll get to that. Well, finally got tired of the bugs and getting bit by deer flies. And I know that the love bug and mosquito season's coming up. So I'm going to give this a shot. Bought this Tomahawk backpack fogger, the turbo version. And it's got a misting hose attachment. You can see these hoses running down the arm where usually the air blows out. And then we have Flex 1010 insecticide. And I'm using, first time I've ever tried this. I used to ride two-stroke motorcycles, but this is like a premix. Really spendy though, but it's ethanol free. And it's like 20 bucks a gallon for this stuff. But so far, I think it's going to take me about 2 tanks. That's about 18 ounces of this Flex 1010 to get the job done. And I'm going to go through and spray North Forest and the East Forest and maybe a little bit of the border. We'll see how well this does and if it gets rid of my deer flies and mosquitoes. That would be awesome. Well, I finished spraying most of the yard. Got about 3 acres sprayed with the Tomahawk. And I've been hanging out here in the shop. It's quite the mess now. Haven't had any or seen any deer fly. So that's all good news. I think it's going to work well. I think I saw maybe 1 mosquito. I don't know. Mistaken, maybe. But it has not yet I haven't gotten bitten yet. I guess the trial would be to hang out here around sunset and see if that happens. Lots of progress on electrical. Looks like they got the whip up for the outside light. The data cable, which is, see if I can get this thing in focus. Yeah, right about here, this coil right here. That's a low voltage data cable that runs up into the house, where I can patch it in, so I'll have hardwired Ethernet into the building here. The plan is over the power panel right about there, we're going to hang this network rack. That'll allow me to put all of the components in there, the switch and some of the other pieces. Somewhere up here on the roof, we're going to put in a network access point. And Thor's coming in to visit. Hey Thor, how you doing? Good? Okay. Let's see, what else can I tell you about progress in here? Oh, I'm really loving the desk that I made. It's all fully rollable around, so it just needs a power cord and my whole thumping stereo and everything comes with it. You approve, Thor? Yeah? Okay. Also picked up some really cool road cases. This one I got over at Cast Connection. I don't remember if I showed you this one. Let me clear off some of this stuff. Yeah, Sets Rigging Shop. Dispo means dispose of, so they tagged it for disposal. And it is, from the Resort Entertainment at Disney. So there you have it. That's the latest update on what's going on here in the shop. Hopefully, we will have things going on. Oh, I guess I could talk about Tesla. So recently we got an alert on the screen that basically said there was something up with the batteries and they seem to be going downhill. Don't know what that means. Somebody on the internet was kind of mentioning that maybe they aren't recalibrating themselves, so they might not be charging to their fullest just because they're not calibrated right. So I have a service appointment. The first official take it in because of a problem in, God, there's like 85,000 miles on the car. So we'll have that in. We'll see if they can get the batteries to charge again, and that'll be good. But right now, usually we can get about 100 and... Hey, Thor. It's like down here at my feet. Somewhere. No, down there. Anyway. Yeah, where was I? So usually about 130 to... No, it was more than that. 180 miles on a charge, and now it's down to maybe only 80 miles. So, yeah, that's definitely becoming a problem. So Karen may be borrowing Connor's car here until we get that car into the shop. Not the Disney magic, the carnival magic.
Yeah. It's sprinkling. It's that cloud right there.
Oh, there they are. Hi.
I can take pictures of that shit in the multi-shot.
Kind of funny, every time I walk out now, I've got deer hanging out. Sorry, girls. You can go over there and have dinner. The grass is really starting to come in now, so they're all coming back out to hang out. See if we can get a little bit closer for you. It's kind of funny. We went to the Brevard Zoo and they had these on display. Anyway, good times. Well, I was super excited. I found this bin that you can get forks under. Looks very sturdy at work. And I was all excited. And then I brought it home and this happened. It lined up to my pallet jack and I go to push in and it doesn't fit. So, good news is I can still use it with my pallet forks and get it moved around because I can narrow those out, but it doesn't fit a standard pallet jack size. So I won't be rolling this thing around the shop on the pallet jack. I'll just have to use it. I figured I'd put scrap metal and those kind of things in it since it's a nice sturdy bin. But anyway, sometimes it may pay for me to have measured, and I had my handy dandy tape measure with me, but I didn't use it. Of course, I couldn't have told you what the standard width of a pallet jack was off the top of my head. Anyway, but yeah, that's okay. Found another cute piece down at Cast Connection, probably from, I don't know, one of the break areas, I'm guessing. I don't know if it would have been on stage in one of the restaurants or not. But yeah, there was two of them, and I thought, what am I going to do with two, since they kind of are designed to go along a wall. So we'll find a home for it here. Just the one.
Together.
Congratulations.
It's going down. I'm daring tonight. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night. If you won't remember.
Thanks, guys. Well, if y'all remember, there was a pile of compost here that I've been whittling away at. I finally got most of it moved, all of it moved, and then I just kind of smoothed out what was left, filled in the holes, picked up stuff, so that should make mowing the lawn a little bit easier. And for those wondering what happened to it, up here at the front of the property, I'll drive over there here in a second. I filled in some holes where some roots were poking through. One of the spots was right there where I had some roots poking up. Another one was up here where this pine tree is. Had a couple of big roots. Kind of made it hard to mow around. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, is fine tuning the landscape so I can mow better. I should be able to drive the zero turn over that. It'll be a little dusty until the grass grows out, but this is the time of year when grass is growing.